Hey everyone, welcome back to AFTV. Welcome to the Starting 11 show. Welcome to our coverage of the North London Derby. Let's have a round of applause for the North London Derby. Big game. Big game. You know, in the week I was feeling nervous. If you saw the preview, you saw I was a bit not sure what, but you know what, walking in today, I was feeling this is it. This is the games we want. That's what Arteta keeps saying. I'm pumped for this. It's a big one. And to watch it and cover it and discuss Starting 11 with me is, of course, Premzy. Welcome, Premzy.
Yes, Prems.
Good to have you down.
Come on, let's go, boys.
Of course, we've got Dan Potts.
Yes.
How are you doing, Dan?
Good, man.
And we got Kwame. Welcome, Kwame. Guys, let's bring the energy. Everyone in the comment section, get your thoughts in on everything from the Starting 11, what you want to see today, to Mykhailo Mudryk. We are going to talk about that. Of course, it's the first time that we're live on AFTV to discuss that. We will dedicate some time to the transfer stuff and all that. But first and foremost, it is North London Derby time. And this watch-along Matchday Live is powered by NordVPN.
It's like I've had no freedom to just be myself. I keep getting restricted. It's like someone's watching me at home, on the train, even in the bathroom. It's making me see red!
Well, that's because London is red.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, just to be sure, I'm going to prescribe you 2 years of NordVPN. You'll feel a better sense of self when you can explore the internet with freedom. And with next generation encryption on up to 6 devices, those feelings being watched will be gone.
Does that mean I can access new content on the streaming services I've already subscribed to?
Just change your location in the app.
And I won't get tagged by any malware?
Nord's threat protection will have you covered.
And I can save money when travelling and shopping locally instead of internationally?
All that plus 4 months free.
Oh wow. Thank you, Doc.
All right, Ty.
No, I'm not right. It's a disgrace.
Charming.
Remember, with the AFTV special, you can get a bonus gift and there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to nordvpn.com/AFTV now.
And we're back. Be invincible by scanning the QR code or clicking the link in the description below to get the AFTV special. Big thanks to NordVPN. And I'm sorry, I'll tell you what, if I had the NordVPN right now, I'd be watching content somewhere else rather than what is on my screen, which is Mykhailo Mudryk being unveiled in front of the Chelsea fans at Stamford Bridge. Look, let's address the elephant in the room. Let's go straight into it. We're going to have plenty of time to talk about everything from the Starting 11. This was the big news from last night. Arsenal hadn't even kicked a ball when it felt like we got a little bit of a sucker punch going to the North London Derby. I've shaken it off now, but Dan, where are you with it?
So am I completely devoted that we don't have Mudryk? No, I'm not, because I wasn't 100% sold on the guy because I haven't seen much of him. So it's not like this is a player like a Jude Bellingham where I'll be like a bit gutted that Chelsea have nicked him off of us if that was going to ever be the case. When I look at what Mudryk can do on the football, it looks great. It does. I think he's going to be a good player. I think he's going to be a good signing. Whether that's going to last at Chelsea in the long run, we won't know. But I do think the guy's got talent. Where I'm not really too devastated by it is because of those reasons. Where I am a little bit disappointed is because we have seen nothing happen so far. So we're 15 days in, we're in a title race, and I need to see the Kroenke show an ambition to actually give us that title-winning chance, and that is needed with 2 or 3 more signings. So it's frustrating that the player that we do seem to want, or players, whether you believe it or not, have now both gone to Chelsea because of money. Felix, Mudryk. If I was Chelsea, I'd be disappointed with signing Mudryk. He's been twerking for Arsenal for how long? 6 to 8 weeks. So all of a sudden, Chelsea have got this amazing signing that wanted to be posting stuff in Arsenal kits and all that not long ago. So I'm not really devoted by it, James. I can't say it. But if we don't get anybody, then I will be devastated because that, to me, is not good enough. The squad at the moment is very, very good, but it needs to be better. And our first 11 has proven how good it is. I need to see more, man. And Mudryk, for me, signing Mudryk, it still wasn't enough anyway. So if we see nothing at all, I'll be annoyed. I'd be very, very surprised if we, especially after what's happened now, I'll be even more surprised if nothing happens at Arsenal now.
Kwame, what do you make of it all?
Like you said, it's a sucker punch, isn't it? Didn't expect it. I think looking at his socials throughout the last 2 weeks or so, he's been posting up in red. He's been, he's been sending little indirect messages to us. We were sold on it. The fan base was sold. We knew he was coming in, or we thought he was coming in. So I guess it goes to show how can I say, cutthroat this business is. And I think that's another thing that we forget, is that it doesn't matter. Until they've signed on the dotted line, they're not our players. So it's a lesson for the fan base in terms of don't get too excited.
I agree.
And, do you know what I mean? Because it's not guaranteed. In regards to him as a player, you know, he's tipped to be one of the best, as De Zerbi, isn't it, from Brighton, he said. Ballon d'Or potential. However, for me, I don't think he'll do well too much under Potter. I mean, he's struggling. I'll be honest with you, I don't think Potter will be able to get the best out of him and João Felix. But that's my own opinion, do you know what I mean? But it's unfortunate for Arsenal. I heard that we're looking at Trossard now. We're looking at Trossard, Rafinha, Rafinha as well from Barcelona. It just seems that we're getting a bit desperate. I didn't want that.
It's what we do now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's what we do now that will matter.
100%.
Premzy, where are you with it all?
Do you know what? I'm not going to lie. It is a little bit disappointing. And at the same time, it's embarrassing as well. Because as a big club like Arsenal, we need to be proactive. And I thoroughly believe if we would have put that bid in that we did at the last stage, earlier on in the window, we would have got it done, sealed and signed. However, we have been invested in him because we know that he's been interested in Arsenal. He's had interviews with Zinchenko's wife and all of that, and he wants to come to us. But Chelsea seem to go after everyone that every other club want, and it hasn't surprised me because when they got involved in the conversation, I thought, you know what, it's likely that he might not come to us. But it's just one of them situations. Have we dodged a bullet in certain aspects? Because a player that really wanted to come to Arsenal, if he really wanted that move badly, he wouldn't have been looking at the money. He would have said to Shakhtar, look, I want to go to Arsenal, accept their bid, and that's that. You get me? Because it could be 2 years' time, Real Madrid could come knocking, and he'll be doing the same thing to Chelsea. I don't want Arsenal fans to have their heads down with this deal because we've still got a lot of the window left. Pull your hair out at the end of the window if you don't bring anyone through the door, James. That's how I see it. And as well, at the same time, I think Chelsea are trying to play it a little bit smart, trying to put the morale down off the club and the team and the fans just before the North London derby, getting him signed and that. Don't let it affect you. It is what it is. There's no guarantee this guy's going to come in and hit the ground running. There's no guarantee this guy's going to hit the ceiling that we all think he can hit. There's no guarantee. The Premier League's a different league. If we can go recruit 2-3 players with that kind of money, because now it's a positive to the fans. We know that we have got that kind of money to spend. Go and recruit them players, because personally, Martinelli, I don't think he's getting benched for Mudryk. No way. I don't think that's the case. If we was to go and buy Martinelli now, it's 80 to 100 million you're paying for him. So he ain't getting benched. He was going to be a good squad player. Go on, make the squad better. Bring in players. There's a player in Ruben Neves that I really rate in midfield. I think no one's speaking about him. We should go look at him. There's Rafinha people are looking at. It's just disappointing that targets that we do normally want to go for, Arteta wants, we're struggling to get through the door. Vlahovic and in recent times, Bruno Gomes and all that. It's embarrassing, man.
Can I just say though on that, sorry James, can I just say quickly, like, I actually agree with everything Premzy said, as I usually do, to be fair, but I think when you look at it, particularly in the last couple of windows, the Vlahovic thing didn't happen. Lisandro Martinez didn't happen. What happened after that? We got Jesus and Zinchenko. So it's not like we completely got these gaps that we still haven't plugged from those two positions. So I'd say that. And the other question is, have Chelsea bullied Arsenal here, or have Shakhtar bullied Chelsea to make them pay that much money? Because that's a hell of a lot of money. I know they don't care because they ain't looking at money like that. But that is a hell of a lot of money. Whether he's going to be bullied or
smart, and I think what's happened is Chelsea have just said to Shakhtar, look, let Arsenal put their final bid in, and then you come back and tell me what their bid is. And all they've done is they've just rejigged the payments around a little bit, added an extra £5 million on, and they've won it.
I heard that it was a thing where Mudryk was put into a corner that if he didn't sign for Chelsea, he wouldn't leave Shakhtar. So that's what I've been hearing or what I've been reading as well.
It's difficult to know. I mean, a lot of people are putting comments in saying he doesn't look happy. And I know we just saw him, you know. But I've got to say, all the photos I've seen, I think he doesn't look like he wants to be there.
He don't want to be there.
And, you know, he was posting a lot about Arsenal, making it very clear that that was the move he wanted. And it's not even like he really wanted Arsenal, but, he's got to move to the team at the top of the league. It's actually the opposite. He wanted Arsenal. We're at the top. He's dropped down the table to a club he wasn't talking about to get that move. So, is it financially driven? Is it other things? I don't know. Maybe it is that. Maybe Shakhtar said, we're going to accept the highest bid, and then it's up to you if you want that move or not. So it could be a lot of these things. But I think you've all spoken about it amazingly well. I've got over it quite quickly. I mean, I was really invested in it. Then it didn't happen. I thought, well, that's it. I'm not going to cry about a player we never even had. So I can move on, quite quickly and focus on the North London derby. But it's what you said there about how we respond now. It does become while I'm calm now, it's a tear hair out situation. If we get to the end of the window and we haven't reinforced the squad, and we get to that latter part of the season. Remember, even last season we didn't have Europa League football. We've got that now this year. And I'd like to see us be competitive in that tournament. If it gets to a point where I'm seeing Saka and Martinelli look exhausted, Partey pick up another injury, and key players basically just dragging themselves through the last bit of the season because we didn't get them the help they need. That's where I'll be frustrated, and I'll look at this club and go, how have we not learnt from January? You sort of have got away with it by being quite smart with bringing in Jesus, having a really good summer. We ultimately still had a pretty good season last year, but please learn from it and strike while they're on top, because Arteta's making it very, very clear. We don't have windows to waste. We need numbers. We're short on players. We all know where Arsenal stand if they don't do business, and that is that they'll be disappointed they didn't do it. Not that it was all part of the bigger plan, And that's why I don't want to be sold.
You know what, James? I 100% agree with you. Look, we can't make the same cock-up that we did in January. The difference is, this season, we brought these players in, Jesus, Zinchenko, but I don't think any Arsenal fan can say they think we would have been in the position we are in now.
No. Exactly.
You have to capitalise on this position. For 18 years, we've not been there. You get me? If we win today, that's 8 points clear of Man City. That puts us in a very promising position. And then we can even stretch it further when we play United. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what City's form's going to be like. You have to capitalise now. You have to bring the players in now. Make that squad stronger. We've got 3 competitions to play. You know what I'm saying? We have to do it now.
And it does open opportunities. I mean, you're so right. Okay, now we all know, it's a bad and a good thing. Now we all know what Arsenal are willing to spend in this market. But at the same time, so do other clubs. So do selling clubs. So if we wanted Ferran Torres, it's not 40 anymore, it's 50. You know that?
They'll double it or triple it.
But you know what, James? Every single club is going to be overcharging Arsenal because they know the position we're in. They know we need to add squad depth, and they know we're challenging for the title. So when Arsenal come to town, they're ready to pull your pants down straight away.
Well, except for Arsenal at top of the league, so there's a degree of power in negotiations there, which is like, look, we're not like languishing in 10th, but
it's not cemented, is it? We've still got 20 odd games to go, and we're in a bit of a limbo where we know we need that squad depth, and everyone else knows it as well.
But I think Arsenal have shown in the last few windows that they actually won't go to ridiculous fees, and actually they're willing to pay a lot for Mudryk, and maybe the next negotiation, wherever we go next, that's how I would lead if I'm Edu. Like, look, we'll show you we're willing not to take the piss, and we're going to come with a sensible offer, but don't take the piss out of us, because we didn't go for that level, even though we knew Mudryk wanted the deal above anything else.
I wonder as well if it would be wise to look a little bit closer to home now, because these teams and players, in these teams outside of England, they're going to look at Anthony for 90. Know that people have paid ridiculous money for the likes of Pepe, Kai Havertz, now Mudryk. Maybe there's some players in the Premier League, Neves, Tielemans, Zaha, Trossard. Can't we look a little bit closer to home and try and get a few of those names in now? We've probably got 90 million, 95 million, was it, that we put in for Mudryk? Use that to get 3 or 4 players in now that are closer to home. You put the 25 in for Zaha, the 20 in for Tielemans, the 25 million. But I'd rather take 3 or 4 of them than Mudryk anyway. So
the 50, 60 million is the new 30 million in this day. We've gone for Ben White for 50 million. Obviously, that was a big risk. We didn't know how it was going to turn out.
It's tough.
We do got to trust we got to trust Arteta, because whoever he's brought in so far, I'm guarantee 80% of Arsenal fans were doubting them players, barring maybe Zinchenko and Jesus, and they've come in, they've hit the ground running, except for Sambi, I would say, and we're happy with it. It's just we got to get the bodies through the door, because that's where it's going to hurt us.
So if Arsenal, if by the end of the window, I told you now Arsenal are going to have Trossard and Tielemans for a combined 50 million through the door, would you be underwhelmed by that after the fact that we were nearly willing to spend 80 million on a winger? Or would you go, no, good depth, Premier League proven, like
I'll probably do that. I'll probably say, based on what Dan said in terms of the players that we bought in beforehand, and even what Prem said as well, Ben White, we didn't expect much from them. I believe under the right manager, i.e. Arteta, he can get the best out of these players. So I don't even want to look at them individually and say, look, it's just Trossard, because on their day they can do business. The same with Neves as well.
Trossard's been brilliant in big games.
He's been quality.
But at the same time, we can't forget about Wilfried Zaha as well.
Of course,
very experienced as well.
The only thing is just the price.
He's an Arsenal fan, so he's going to want to wear the badge with pride. and he's one of them players that can play.
Would
up front
Palace
as
let
well.
him go though? That's the thing. Would
that's the
they let
thing.
him go? The biggest
And there's
player.
two ways of looking at it. Do Arsenal fans at the end of this window go, we've got an exciting signing in Mudryk, or do we look, we've got some squad depth covered? There's two ways of looking at it.
I just
So
have a
if you
funny feeling Rafinha's coming. I'm
You
telling
reckon?
you now. Barcelona need to get rid of players, and
And they got
money.
Dembele,
We
who
were after
they
him.
both want to play on the right side. I mean,
Yeah.
you can stick one on the left and hope it works.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. I kind of wonder. The only thing is he wanted that Barca move so badly.
Yeah.
Does he want to, after 5 months, say, well, that
Maybe
was
he's
gone now
realised.
and realised
Yeah,
it's not
he's
all it's
realised
cracked up
it's
to be.
sinking. Yeah,
Grass
yeah,
ain't green, I like.
yeah.
and at that position, Arsenal weren't top of the league, mate.
No,
He's probably
no, no,
looking
no.
back and thinking, "Ooh, did I just
That's
pick the
it.
wrong club?"
But that's the same as Vlahovic as well for Juventus. I mean, everyone was saying, oh, he made a smart decision going to Juve, but he's now got his tails between his legs because he's just like, I should have gone to Arsenal. How could I have done at Arsenal? So
I don't think Arsenal are going to be signingless in this window because I think someone, if not 2 players, will come in. The reason I say it is a lot of reports came out quite quickly after the Mudryk stuff that Arsenal were going to,
2 more players,
basically bounce back, see what else they could do. The second thing is that the difference between the reporting in this window compared to January last year was Arsenal are chasing top 4. They weren't expecting to be, so they're going to see if they can bring some business forward to help propel that chase to the Champions League. Everything I've been reading, I remember Amy Lawrence putting this in The Athletic, is actually Arsenal are trying to do business in January that they didn't finish in the summer window. Right. So we were looking for Rafinha back then, we're looking for Mudryk now. Clearly we want a wide forward. Leaving it to the summer doesn't make any sense for anyone involved. When you've got the money, when Arteta's talked about needing the depth, when you've got Martinelli and Saka starting against Oxford United, it's clear that they want to do business now. And I think even if it is a 20, 30 million pound player, I actually think they'd be willing to take more of a risk. But as long as the profile's right and the personality's right, I think they'd be willing to go, well, I don't know if Trossard's the guy, but you know what? He ticks all the other boxes.
Do you know what it is, though, James? Yeah, this is where I get frustrated.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, I get very frustrated because the World Cup's only just gone, which has been a month out, yeah? If you can't throw all your eggs in the basket for Mudryk. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. If you're not willing to meet their valuation, there's always a big risk that you're not going to get that player.
Yeah.
Where's that plan B? Act straight away.
I
You know what I mean? We're halfway through January, more or less. Yeah. We had a month, like I said. Players should be through the door quick. We could have him for this Tottenham game, have him for United. You get me?
I
That
agree.
plan has to be put into place.
It took too long to get to this.
Otherwise, then you're
Yeah.
just
I
rustling
think
around.
everyone would agree that we've taken too long with that. I think the reason people have got a little bit of a doubt or concern, James, is 2 things. The PTSD from last January window.
Now 100.
Yeah, sure. And the other is the fact that we've made it quite clear throughout that they will only sign players they think fits the bill. And if that player ain't out there, they ain't going to go and take a risk on him. So I can understand why people might get concerned that we see a similar January. But you know what it is? I honestly don't think we can sit there and point the fingers at Mikel Arteta about this window. I think
No, I don't
he's
think
made
we
it
can.
very clear in every press conference. We will utilise this window. We have to maximise this window. We understand where we're short. If Edu and the board and the owners can't make that happen and back him with something that needs, even if it was, you know what, this is massively overpaying, but this is a league title, just get Mudryk, here's 100 million. Then I will be frustrated. If nothing happens this window, I'm not coming for him and going bloody Mikel again. I'm coming for them
to be
ownership,
fair,
and I'm saying,
I don't
have you
think-
got an ambition for a title, or are you going to try and sneak into
I
the
don't
top
think
4
anyone
again?
is like that with Arteta because the players that he's wanted and he's been after have come very good, and I think all Arsenal fans are on the same page with him now, myself included.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because all I wanted, like I said,
remember.
is to be at the top of the
Title
table,
race, man.
challenging.
Same
You
as you,
get me?
Premzy.
Having that belief, go into games thinking, you know what, this could be our year. Not sitting 10th and in relegation zone, fam. That's not what I'm about. You know what I mean?
same.
So the fans have got belief in him, man. They have.
I agree, they absolutely do, and I think that's why there's actually a good degree of patience in the fan base after this. Mudryk's all frustrated, but it's okay. We know though that their intentions are right, so let's see what happens. I do think this is quite funny. Authentic with a comment says, "What happened to Arsenal knock differently?" Which you all remember that Raul Sanyehi quote about the different knock.
Well, he's gone, hasn't he, Sinelli?
He's done.
Get me them brown envelopes
also-
disappeared, fam.
I think we do have a different knock, but I think if you slide a few extra notes under the door, that probably
Right.
changes things a
At the
little
moment,
bit.
our
So.
knock is more like a little, do you know, one of them small ones that maybe seen Friday when he hits the door and it's tiny and he goes, that's how you knock, and he
Little
turns
kid.
around and kicks it. That's what we need to be doing, kicking doors down.
Well, it'll be very interesting to see. All right, guys, we've obviously talked about that in a lot of detail. Give us your thoughts as well. We'll be checking out the comments throughout and give us your thoughts now on what you're hoping from the starting 11. We'll go into this now. We do have some super chats, though. Dave I don't know about this super chat, Dave, but of course I'm going to read it out for you. He says, AFTV have brought out the Avengers of negative fans for today. Prayers for Edu and Mykhailo if we drop points. Premzy, Dan and Laurie licking their lips. Look how positive they've been. Look how positive Look how positive they've been about, you know, everything Nugent and but I think, you know what, I've had a few run-ins with Dave and I think he's just trying to wind us up.
He's a wind-up merchant.
He's having his fun and he's always supporting the show. So thank you, Dave. Paul says, I'm disappointed. If Mudryk wanted the move, he could have forced it. Remember, Chelsea went for Jesus. I do not think it's embarrassing. Give the board the chance to get the right players. He then says, I do not like when Arsenal fans... Oh, Newcastle nearly scored.
Or was it Shaw?
Paul says, I don't like it when Arsenal fans start jump and start talking about being embarrassing. We did stick to our guns and admire the club for it. We're top of the league. We should trust the club. No, I think the embarrassing bit, it's more the frustrating element of it's taken so long. Yeah. And Chelsea were always ready to just go and spend the money. And actually, while I kind of admire a lot of what Arsenal have done in this window and in recent windows, I think it's more... the fact that we even got so close to their asking price, which was more than we even wanted, just for them to go, oh, actually, we'll sell him to this guy. It's like, oh, come on.
Do you know what, for me, the embarrassing bit is if the difference that I seen was 5 million, that's embarrassing. That's penny pinching. That's bringing back Luis Suarez vibes. You get me, bro? And what else is embarrassing is the Vlahovic, the Bruno Gomes, the Isaac. That's because they were all public that we were after him. And we keep getting turned down. That's what's embarrassing. And if you don't think that's embarrassing, you need to give your wobble, mate.
We keep getting outbid, and then ultimately, for every Vlahovic that struggled at Juve and we call laughing at it, there's a Bruno Gomes now who's playing for Newcastle as we speak, in a side that is... I think he might have come off actually.
Yeah, he got injured.
Well, there you go.
That was the one though, wasn't it? That was the one we should have got.
The Bruno one.
He would be immense. You know what this midfield...
35 mil, man.
Do you know what this Arsenal midfield needs right now? A player who can slot in as a class DM if needed, but otherwise as a box-to-box, classy, energetic. Oh my... He's perfect. I can't think of another player in world football whose profile suits so much.
I agree.
Neves, Ruben Neves, man. He's a quality footballer.
It's interesting how we've gone quiet about him, because I would have said him.
Sheets of Metal says, at this moment, top 4 looks good for now. Yeah, I agree with that. He also says, Shakhtar are at fault. Why would you give someone away who wants the Arsenal move? Because listen, I don't blame Shakhtar. They want their money, right?
Do you know what else as well, which is really strange? How they let a Ukrainian-based club let him go to a team that has been built by Roman Abramovich. And these men have been funding a lot of things for Russia, you know what I'm saying? Like that. They got to have some self-respect about yourself.
That just says a lot about
them. You know
what
I mean?
That says a lot about them. But it's typical. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that money talks when it comes to Chelsea. Just kind of, I read something on Twitter where it was saying that Man United or City and Chelsea, they've ruined the whole transfer market because it's, in terms of the prices are spiked so high. And the dirty business behind doors, it's annoying for the real football fans who just want to see players at their club.
I do think, sorry to interrupt you, I do think United and Chelsea have totally distorted the market.
Yeah.
And you know, they were saying, well, Anthony went for 85. I'm sorry, I don't know. I bet he'll score at the Emirates now I'm saying this. But I don't know what makes Anthony an £85 million player other than the fact that he's played with Ten Hag. So they're desperate to get him. But United are doing well. They've opened up a massive opportunity for us, whilst also propelling them into our Fulham in. I think that's a pen, you know.
Nah,
he's told him to get out.
That's a pen.
VAR's going to have to check that.
And Fulham
That's a pen.
be in. What's going on here?
Is that not a penalty?
Did he go?
Good
tackle there. Is that Paulinho who's won the ball back?
Flip flap.
And now
that has to be
Fulham.
a penalty,
Sorry,
right?
Deckled over. Is that a penalty? It's all happening. It's all happening.
Are you
James's
serious?
Park. Wow, that is cool.
Wow.
That is a penalty, the first one.
I think the first
He
one
pulled
might
it back.
have been, you know.
He pulled his hand back.
Let's see. Fulham 0, Newcastle United 0 at St James's Park. Super Mick Arteta in the comments says, have you been watching Zaha lately? He's declined. Well, listen, still a talented player though. We'll have a little look at how Palace are doing at the Bridge in a second. But it's 64 minutes on the clock here. Newcastle 0, Fulham 0. 6 minutes till we get the starting 11s for the North London derby. And as we mentioned, the Manchester derby yesterday. Almiron runs through.
Again.
He's done well here.
Ooh,
good defending. Good defending. United have put themselves in a title race, but they've opened a massive door for us as well, potentially. What did you guys make of that game and how the opportunity that's there for Arsenal and how you think we should approach? Oh, this is cool. Has he gone down a bit easy? Let's have a little look here.
This is
the second one. This is the second one.
This
He
is at
comes
least
in.
a free kick.
That's a free kick.
That's at least a free kick.
You know what?
The first one looked like a pen, though, Stone Wall to me.
I mean,
They
he's
haven't
got a look. He's
I
got
don't
a
know what's going on here. They haven't no
taking
look
a
at
mick.
it. Anyway, what did you make of the Manchester derby, everyone? Dan, start with you.
Listen, I'm not shocked at all that Manchester United won that because I haven't really felt that this Man City is the same Man City that we've seen. I think they've been so...
Chelsea won up, by the way.
Chelsea are 1-0 up. Was it Mudryk? No, I'm joking.
Havertz, that other
Was it really?
£72 million
Havertz. It's gone to
player.
VAR, by the way, this penalty. That has got
Well,
to
they're
be a
checking the
penalty
second
for
one.
me.
I think this is a pen.
Why are they not checking the first one?
I think that's a pen.
He's
They're
inside
going to
the
give it
box.
on the line, them, I bet, though.
He's inside the box.
He's going to
He's
the screen,
going to
which
look
means
at
he's
it.
going to have to give it. He's going to have to give this because they're telling him he's got to give it.
You got to give
How are you not see
massive
calling that
credit
as a
to Foden
pen?
as well,
He's
man.
made two mistakes, to be fair.
This is
there,
the
because
thing that gets on my nerves, Prems. These officials, bro.
Inconsistency, man.
You can have
It's
two
mad.
good teams and then you end up with the officials that ruins the whole spectacle of it.
That's
inside
a
the
pen.
box.
He's not touched
That's
the ball.
inside the box.
That's a
Has he?
pen.
I kicked the back of
He's
his
not touched
head.
the ball.
Yeah,
He's got to give this. It's a pen.
100%.
He has not touched the
he's
ball.
What
Just
is he
chucked
doing?
him.
Harry Blake,
Who's,
I hope
who's
you're
made that
watching
tackle?
this.
Trippier.
Got him on a fantasy football team as
He's
well,
going to
man.
say it's a free kick.
He's lazy.
He's
That's
gonna
a pen.
chicken
It's
out.
on the line.
He's
It's
going
a
to chicken
pen.
out. He's going to chicken
What's
out.
he going to
Free
give?
kick.
Oh! Penalty for Fulham. Penalty for Fulham.
What's Trippier?
He says, me, when? Is he serious, Trippier? Like, me, when? When did I hack him in the
I
box?
tell you what, Trippier had no problem, for all the fines Arsenal have had by the FA, Trippier had no problem getting involved at the Emirates, I will say.
Oh, yeah.
I know, I thought that was
Are we going to
quite
fine
strange,
him?
that.
Look at the
Yeah,
protests. Oh
yeah.
my God, this is getting ugly.
At the Emirates, they were all over the... I
Yeah.
don't know how we got charged.
Right.
That was a madness.
No, bro.
That is brilliant from... Is that tickled over Reed?
Yeah, it was class.
Class.
That's first step over, done him.
Stunning.
He's completely
He's a
done-
pen.
He's completely done him there.
Fat Sam says, spelt P-H-A-T, what if the title's secured by 29th of April? Can
Yeah.
Xhaka leave one on Mudryk? Listen, we never wish for that, but
No,
I
no,
definitely
no,
wanted
we
to
like
give him a
Xhaka.
torrid time.
That's the only game we're going to allow him to get a red card.
Can't wait for Mudryk to visit the Emirates, says Konstantinos. We've barely talked about this derby, but look, you're going to have time to do
we'll
that
talk,
in the
we'll
build-up of Matchday Live as well. At the moment, as we're waiting for the 11s to come out in 3 minutes, all eyes
They
on
gotta get
Newcastle
fined.
Fulham
They
here.
have to get fined.
It's a penalty. I mean, this is no worse or less than anything, no more or less than anything I saw from Arsenal. Maybe against Newcastle got a little bit heated, but what we got fined for in the
It's mad.
Oxford United
It's
game,
mad.
I'll never
I
understand.
don't understand this anymore, like really, in terms of consistency. And a lot of people do cry about it and go over the top as Arsenal fans. There are some.
I think we're entitled to, though.
But exactly that. I'm saying this
Yeah.
now. Exactly that. Because for me, I can't understand how claiming or asking or appealing for a penalty, you get fined for that.
But if
It's mad.
No,
I've
it's
seen it
crazy,
so many
man.
times. I saw Fulham the other night against
Unbelievable.
Chelsea,
This is what I'm
surrounding
saying.
the referee, nothing done. I've seen Liverpool
Newcastle
players.
were at it all game.
the whole game.
All game they were at it. Do you know what I mean? I think the ball was in play for like 53 minutes as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
This is Mitrovic against his old club.
That's right. Mitrovic at St James's Park. What's he got? The
I
lineup's
can
out in
see
2
him
minutes.
missing it. I can see it being saved.
This will be big. You know, Newcastle have seen this hunt. I tell you who'll be happy. He scored!
Did he fall over there
He
and still
shanked
put it in?
He shanked that one.
Making
he's
him
got to
take
retake
again.
it.
They're making him take it
Why?
again. Was it encroachment? I was like, what's going on?
No,
there?
I think it hit his foot.
What?
I don't think he'll retake it.
They're saying it's a
It won't
free
stand.
Oh my God!
Because he hit it twice. Did he kick
What?
it twice? Is that what happened?
He's got to
He
retake that.
slipped and
Can't
it hit
see
his
it.
foot. Oh,
What?
Yeah,
It hit
What's
the
so
ground.
wrong?
But it hit his... It's, you can, that's
So
all
was
right.
he hit?
yeah, he hit his left foot. He hit his left
He hit his
foot.
left foot, so it doesn't count. Is that right?
Yeah, so it's not going to count.
But it retake, no?
No, he got it wrong.
How's he
That's
kicking the ball
unfair.
at his left foot, man? What's wrong with him?
Oh my
Yeah.
God! No, that's a retake, isn't it? No.
No, don't think it is. He looks devastated, Mitrovic.
So he's fell over and he's hit into his left foot, which means it no
Fulham have
longer...
been unlucky, man. I'm telling
So
you now.
unlucky, man. Because they've actually been
I
playing
mean, it's
well.
unlucky, but it's also a bit silly. Like, he's got to get that right, ain't he?
I don't even think
What
he
is
falls.
going on there? Like, the guy's
Oh
got...
my God! Fulham,
Lifeline for Newcastle. Can they get a goal and get a win? I was
they're gonna-
about to say, Spurs fans would have been really happy with that if it went in the back of the net, as would United fans have been. But
This is what I
maybe
was
they're
going to
looking at...
say. With touching on United, James, I think, as much as we don't like to say it, you've got to give them massive credit.
Yeah,
Massive
yeah.
credit. Like,
100. Ten
he's
Hag,
brought
man,
in
he's been
and
brilliant.
what he's done with that team, making players that are already there a lot better, it's crazy, man. I think Fred had a real good game. I think the tactics they deployed against City was spot on, literally to man mark De Bruyne out the middle of the pitch and push him out onto the left-hand side. I think City as well, maybe not starting Jack Grealish was a bit of a detriment to the team because for me he's been in fine form of late, and Phil Foden, since he's come back from the World Cup, he hasn't quite been the same. And it wasn't surprising, but they've done us a favour now. We need to go and capitalise on this. It's going to be hard, it's going to be tough, but we've got more in our arsenal to go and to do Tottenham. You get me? These guys have been conceding 2 goals pretty much every game up until Crystal Palace. They struggled in the FA Cup. You get me? And the one thing that this Arsenal team has got now is the mentality of how to manage a game. Very rarely do we go ahead and we lose a game now. And that is something that we have to really work on in this game. You know what I mean? We have to get that early goal, something that we've been accustomed to this season, getting that early goal, and then just not shutting up shop, but just managing the game very well.
Should we go through the 11?
Yeah.
Come on.
Let's do it if it's out.
Yeah, go on.
Look, why add tension when we don't need to? It's what we'd expect. Ramsdale in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel and Zinchenko, Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard with Saka, Martinelli and Eddie Nketiah up front. The team we expected with a bench of Matt Turner, Kieran Tierney, Tomiyasu, Holding, Lokonga, Smith, Vieira, Smith Rowe and Marquinhos.
About to scare us,
Smith and Smith Rowe.
Smith and Smith Rowe. You can see that we lack a little on the depth, on the bench for depth, but Vieira and Smith Rowe are there as well, and there's some good depth in fullback and defensive areas if needed. Hold on, where's El Neni? Did anyone else just clock that? Where's El Neni?
Is he on his way to Aston Villa? What's going on?
That's a really good point.
Little swap.
So we bringing someone in?
Hopefully, we better be
No,
bringing
El
someone
Neni's
in.
absolutely the kind of player you bring in this situation. Let's have a little look at the Tottenham team, if I can get it up.
Is Kulusevski playing? That's the big one.
Probably will
Let's
be.
find
And
out. I've
Benzema.
got no
And
doubt.
with
he's
Unai
playing.
Emery being at Villa as well, there's a connection there.
In goal, Lloris.
Yes!
Romero, Dyer and Longley.
Oh, I guess pray on.
Doherty, Sessegnon, Højbjerg, Sarr, Kulusevski, Son and Kane. So they brought in Sarr, who didn't really get his first minutes for Tottenham till very recently. Kulusevski's in the team.
Sessegnon as well.
Forster, Royale, Sanchez, Davis, Perisic, Skip, Bissouma, Brian Hill and Richarlison on the bench. That bench looks better than the, with all due respect, but Richarlison, Perisic, Bissouma, Brian Hill players who can do something from the bench there. Sarr gets his first start, I believe, for Tottenham, unless he played in the Cup. But I don't think he's played a Premier League game or started a Premier League game yet. And those are the starting 11s. Everyone, your instant reaction, Dan.
Kulusevski's massive for Spurs. I don't know how fit he is though. So we can't lose our heads and think that this is going to be a, oh my God, this is ridiculous now. Kulusevski's back. I still think that we could do a job on him. I knew Bissouma and Bentancur were doubts. I didn't expect both of them to be out, but you know, obviously with Højbjerg and Sarr coming in.
Good defender.
Listen, we've got our team that we wanted, mate.
Yeah.
We wanted that team. We play the way that we have been playing. We should be okay against that side. I think that midfield trio of ours has been so important. We can boss theirs. 100% we can. You look at Sarr and Højbjerg against Xhaka, Partey and Odegaard, it leaves theirs dead in the water. So if we dominate and boss that midfield, there's no reasons why we shouldn't be dominating the game and for me, creating a lot of chances.
Yep, Kwame.
Yeah, following on, Kulusevski is obviously a key player for Spurs. Kane, let's not forget about Kane, and he loves to turn up against us in the derby.
He's scoring today.
Yeah.
Was he's one? I think he's one away from beating or matching.
Beating
Greaves,
Greaves,
yeah.
Right, so of
Greaves,
course
yeah.
he's scoring.
He'll get his annual goal. And
That's
Obviously.
it. He'll score his goal.
Penalty.
But in terms of us, as you say, controlling the midfield, that's a big aspect of the game. I'll also point out the fact that Dyer's playing as well, and I always say to players, if you're going to play on someone, play to their weakness. And Dyer's a guy that, for me, if I'm an attacker, I'm going to be on him. I'm going to be on his toes because he's going to make a mistake. In a big game like this, he's bound to make a mistake, not Romeo. So hopefully Nketiah uses his brain. And it's got to be quick passes. It's got to be very short and sharp, making Spurs run around a lot more. But no, to be honest, all of that, regardless, it's a North London derby.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter about what form you're in. It's about what you can do. As soon as that whistle goes, first challenge, first header, making sure that the fans are on your side. Because if we get the fan base, obviously Spurs, and they get rowdy or whatever away from home, it's going to be a big, big game for us. But this is a game where you need to stamp your authority. If we want to say that we are title contenders and we want to go on and win the Premier League, this is a game where we need to collect 3 points.
Completely
Nothing
agree.
more.
Completely agree, Premzy.
Do you know what? I'm pretty surprised that Sarr and Sessegnon are in that lineup, to be totally honest. I think when it comes to this game, I understand people say form goes out the window, but I'm not trying to buy that really this time. I think this is a total different Arsenal team. We've seen United who are being in great form against the City team who's been on and off, and it's the form team won. I think Eddie Nketiah as well, he's just been given the golden boot for the under-21 England all-time goal scorer. I think that's going to give him a lift. I think we just got to focus on our game, not focus too much on what Tottenham are doing. We know what they're going to try to do, hit us on the break, you get me? We've got to make sure that the defence is all aligned, not making no mistakes. I want to see a better performance from William Saliba, more of a solid performance. And that's it. We could just go in and do our business. I think we do have to watch out for Son, even though he's not been on great form. I think this could be a game where Son could potentially try to turn up and get his form back on track.
There's any game to turn up.
Harry Kane, we know he's dangerous. We've got to try to nullify that threat. And Kulusevski as well. He's probably the most dangerous man, to be fair, on the attack.
Yeah,
whether he's fit or not, that's another question. But we gotta just basically not leave the decisions in the referee, keep our head, not get anyone sent off, not get wound up by Højbjerg or any of these players. Focus on what we're doing. And I want to see the referee let this game go as well. I don't want to see yellow cards getting dished out in the first minute or two, because then it's going to end up ruining the game. You give out one early, you got to give out loads. It's a madness.
100%. I think it's definitely about the game management. Towards the end of the game, Spurs always have a stronger second half. They always, they have a rubbish first half where they concede goals and then all of a sudden they come back. We need to show how mature we are in terms of managing this game. And if we are a goal up, we have to make sure that we nullify them, as we're saying. We don't give them any chances, because
we have to beat these and we have to beat Manchester United. They're
100%.
two must-win games if we're really serious about winning this title. And I want us to win dramatically today. I want Mudryk to be watching Match of the Day tonight, thinking, oh, is that what time it is? It's a mad thing. I'm telling you, bro.
I've seen just cross through Twitter people asking who is Pape Sarr. Look, I've seen Dele Alli come to the Emirates. I've seen a young Reece Oxford, and you're thinking, oh, these guys. I know we'd heard a bit about Dele Alli, but then they just put on a masterclass. So don't write anyone off. It's Conte.
Wow, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember
Conte's coming, and he's happy to go with. He doesn't always go for the younger players or the more inexperienced option. If that's what he's going with, then he must really believe in him. So, Arsenal, keep focused. Let's remind ourselves of the team: Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel Zinchenko, Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Nketiah. We have a super chat saying, "Come on, you Gunners," from Sheets of Metal as well. That's pretty much it. At the moment, Newcastle 0-0 with Fulham. Fulham didn't even miss the penalty. He slipped and touched the ball twice. As he struck it with his right foot, it bounced off his left foot and went in.
What does that go down as? A penalty miss or a penalty? What's it called?
I don't know.
It's called.
Mitrovic is powering through those. You want it? Give it a free kick to Newcastle.
You know what? Thomas Partey, though, I'm so happy he's playing that.
Yeah.
100.
He's always been a big miss in big
No
games.
Thomas Partey last year, was there? We know what happened.
Look at United this year, no Thomas Partey. It's the only game we've lost. You know what I mean? He's very instrumental to what we do as a team.
Massively important.
All right, we'll be back in about 20 to 30 minutes or so for Matchday Live. The other score, by the way, Chelsea are 1-0 up against Palace. That propels them from 10th to 10th. So, big result there for them. And remember that NordVPN is keeping us invincible by powering this AFTV Matchday experience. Sorry, any Chelsea fans watching this. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description for the AFTV special. Many thanks, everyone. We'll catch you very soon. Come on, Arsenal.
Listen, things ain't getting any cheaper. So if you're traveling a lot like me and you want to save money, you can do that with NordVPN. Once you have NordVPN, you can explore a lot of different price options for things like flights, hotels, entertainment, anything you want. Just use NordVPN to change your location. Why pay international prices when you can pay local prices? We save literally hundreds of pounds every time we follow Arsenal on tour. It's a no-brainer. Just click the link to be invincible.